Once upon a time, in the small town of Waverly, nestled between rolling hills and a whispering wood, stood an old brick schoolhouse. Its red roof was worn with age, its white walls stained with grime. It had seen better days. Creaking doors opened on rusty hinges, and the long, empty hallways still echoed with the laughter and chatter of children who had long since graduated. But the building held a secret, one that shivered down the spines of even the bravest souls. For within those brick walls walked a ghost, the ghost of Emily Carter. She was a wisp of a girl, always dressed in a faded blue jumper and a white blouse, her pale skin contrasting with her dark, bottomless eyes and gentle smile. Emily preferred the company of books to that of children. During recess, while the other kids kicked a ball across the dusty playground or climbed the jungle gym, she would sit beneath the old oak tree at the corner of the schoolyard, absorbed in a story. Her classmates called her weird. They said she was a freak, a label that stung like a slap. But she bore it with a quiet dignity, finding solace in the pages of her books. There were whispers, too, about her lifeless eyes, about how they held a sadness that seemed too deep for a child. The other kids couldn't fathom the depths of Emily's sorrow, just as they couldn't understand her love for stories filled with magic and adventure. To them, she was an enigma, a puzzle they couldn't solve, and puzzles, as all children know, are best solved by being broken. And so they broke her, piece by piece, word by cruel word, until she became nothing more than a collection of fragmented memories and haunting regrets. The ringleader of this pack of small-minded tormentors was Brittany, a girl whose beauty was only surpassed by her cruelty. She ruled the school with an iron fist, her venomous words leaving trails of tears in their wake. Her loyal followers, Lisa and Ashley, were as toxic as she was, their laughter echoing with malice, their smiles as sharp as shards of glass. They relished in Emily's misery, finding amusement in her sadness. It got worse when Emily's mother passed away. Grief wrapped itself around Emily like a shroud, making her even quieter, more fragile. The bullies sensed blood in the water and began circling. One day, as Emily walked past her locker, they cornered her. Dead mom jokes dripped from their lips like venom. Emily didn't fight back. She didn't have the strength. All she could do was stare at them with her empty, bottomless eyes, eyes that mirrored the vast emptiness inside her soul. The memory of her mother's passing still raw, her heart felt as though it might shatter. That night, Emily went home, a place where silence pressed against her like a shroud. The kitchen table, once filled with her mother's laughter, now echoed with emptiness. Her bedroom, adorned with posters of fantastical creatures, seemed to mock her with their unattainable freedom. In the solitude of her room, surrounded by the ghosts of happy memories, Emily took her own life. The school tried to move on, but the echoes of Emily's passing lingered in the halls. For a brief moment, there was guilt, a heavy, suffocating presence that seeped through the cracks of every classroom. But like smoke, it dissipated into the vastness of time, leaving behind a chilling stillness. Brittany and her friends carried on as if nothing had happened. They strolled the halls as though they owned them, their laughter ringing with a chilling emptiness, but Emily hadn't moved on. She wandered the halls at night, unseen, unheard, her footsteps soft as a whisper, her touch as cold as ice. One week after her funeral, Brittany stayed late to finish a project. As she walked through the deserted halls, a cold draft brushed against her neck. She turned around, but there was nothing there. Only her reflection in the glass trophy case stared back, but the reflection's eyes were hollow, dark pits, and its lips stretched into an unnatural grin. She blinked and it was gone. That night, Brittany woke to the sound of scratching at her window. She sat up in bed, her heart pounding. Outside, she saw Emily standing under her window. Her hair was matted, her blue dress torn and soaked in graveyard soil. Her eyes glowed with a vengeful light, and her lips, once so gentle, were twisted into a snarl. Brittany screamed, but no one heard. Her pleas for help lost in the silent night. The next day at school, Brittany's best friend Lisa found a note on her desk. It read, "You laughed when I cried." That night, Lisa's mirrors fogged over, and in the glass, she saw Emily's face, her eyes, cold, dead eyes staring back, a mouth stitched into a horrific smile. Lisa's screams were found echoing through her empty house the next morning, and so it went. One by one, Emily's tormentors were visited by the ghost of her vengeance. Some saw her in their dreams, dragging them down hallways of blood. Others heard her whispering their names in the darkness, her voice a gurgling hiss. Some were found with scratches on their arms or deep bruises in the shape of small, cold hands. A few even disappeared completely, never to be seen again. The principal tried to call the police, but the school's phones crackled with static whenever Emily's name was spoken. Every time a teacher tried to hold an assembly to move past the tragedy, a cold wind blew through the room, snuffing out the lights. And when they flickered back on, Emily would be standing in the aisle, her eyes blazing with righteous anger. Fear took root in Waverly, coiling around the hearts of the townsfolk like a venomous snake. Parents rushed their children home, locking their doors against the horrors that lingered in the night. Whispers became rumors, rumors that grew into legends. The tale of Emily Carter, the ghost of Waverly School, morphed and twisted in the retelling, becoming a cautionary tale that chilled the bones. Some said her spirit was trapped there forever, doomed to wander the halls and guard the secrets they held. Others claimed she wouldn't find peace until every last one of her bullies felt the icy grip of her fear, tasted the bitterness of her despair. And then there were the brave souls, the ones who scoffed at the tales, who called the legend nothing more than a childish fantasy. Yet even they couldn't deny the unease that settled in their stomachs when the wind moaned through the old schoolhouse, sounding like a mournful cry. If you visit Waverly today, you'll find it unchanged, almost untouched by time. The old schoolhouse stands proudly on the hill, a testament to a bygone era. The halls are empty, the classrooms bare, and the whispers in the wind tell a tale of sorrow, loss, and revenge. And if you listen closely on a quiet night, you can still hear the soft footsteps of Emily's ghost shuffling through the halls, her cold fingers dragging along the lockers, searching for the next one who laughed when she cried. Can you feel the icy touch of her fingers on your neck? Do you hear the whisper of her voice in your ear? Or perhaps you see her reflection in the glass, eyes blazing with eternal sorrow. What do you see in the mirror? Let me know your thoughts below.